You're listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well and looking forward to the 2026 World Cup. I'm Damien and I am one half of the Learn English Through Football podcast team, and I am based in London where it's raining. Of course, the other member of the Learn English Through Football team is Damon, and he's in Tokyo, Japan. Damon, how are you getting on?
Pretty good, thank you, Damien. Sun has returned after a few days of rain, but more rain is forecast in the next few days. And in the next few days, the World Cup is about to kick off, and that's what we'll be talking about on this show. Damien, have you packed your suitcase for Mexico yet?
Not yet, but I am getting a little more excited now about the tournament. How about you?
Well, I've got to admit, World Cup fever hasn't hit me yet. I think it's a combination of factors. One, it's a long way away in terms of time difference. Japan is about 13 to 15 hours ahead of the kickoff times in the US, Mexico, and Canada. So realistically, I won't be watching games live, except maybe for one or two at the weekend in the morning. Also, the issues with ticket pricing, visa difficulties, and the general nervousness many people have about it being hosted in the US with Donald Trump as president makes me a little less than enthusiastic. However, I know when the opening match is played and I start seeing the matchups and stories about players and teams, I'll get into it.
Yeah, I think many people share your views. I think many people have been upset with FIFA and how it seems to be motivated by profit rather than the good of the game. And of course, the US in the way it has treated some participants, including the Iranian team, some fans, and the Somalian referee. But like you, Damon, I am ready for the football. And as we saw in our previous podcast on the World Cup in numbers, there are a lot of games indeed.
Vous écoutez languagecaster.com.
Yes, you are listening to LanguageCaster, or as we are now known, Learn English Through Football, and that message was in French. So, French, of course, is the national language of France, but there are other participating nations in this World Cup who also use French as an official language. Can you think of any? Well, Canada has French as one of its two official languages, while Switzerland also uses French along with three other languages. Belgium uses French as well as Dutch and German, while Haiti also has French along with its Haitian Creole. There are also 3 countries from Africa in this World Cup that have French as an official language: DR Congo, Senegal, and Côte d'Ivoire. That's a total of 8 countries in this World Cup who have French as their official language.
Vous écoutez Learn English Through Football podcast.
And that was another stinger or message. What language do you think that was? We'll have the answers at the end of this show. What else do we have on today's show? Damien?
On today's show, we are going to look at some language that can help us to predict what might happen in the World Cup tournament. And to do this, we are going to hear a short interview with a couple of Spanish fans, followed by both Damon and myself talking about the favourites, the dark horses, and the possible flops of the tournament. And before that, Damon and myself are also going to talk a little about how we think the hosts will get on in this tournament. Remember that 3 countries, Mexico, USA, and Canada, are co-hosting this World Cup.
Okay, before we start, let's look at some of the keywords that appear in the listening sections to help you prepare. First of all, dark horse. This is a team that is not a favourite to win the tournament, but many people still feel they will do well. 2. Home advantage. When a team plays in their home stadium, they are used to the conditions and have lots of home supporters, so generally they have more chance of winning. 3. To get out of the group. This means to qualify from the group. Number 4, flop. If a team does really badly at a tournament, we can say that they have flopped or that they are a flop, a failure. Number 5, and this is connected, is to bomb. And that means to do badly at a tournament, so similar to flop. Number 6, runners up. This means to finish second, maybe in the tournament or in the group. Number 7, to retain the trophy, to win the trophy again the next time the competition is played. And lastly, number 8, to tip a team, to predict that a team will do well. They are tipped to do well. So listen out for these words and phrases to help you understand this listening a little more.
Sie hören gerade languagecaster.com.
Right, let's start our World Cup preview by looking at the 3 co-hosts' chances. Damon, what do you think?
Okay, I'm going on shirt design for this one. That means the USA are going to do well. Love their kit. Not retro hoops exactly, but very cool. Mexico will also do well and may win their first knockout round game. Their kit is more on the classic, traditional side of things. Canada, they won't get out their group.
Interesting, Damon, but I disagree with you. I think that all 3 hosts have a really good chance of getting out of their groups or qualifying for the knockout stages. I also think that of the 3, Mexico might go furthest as they have a wonderful home advantage in the early part of the tournament. There is talk that they may face England in the last 16 in the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, which would be amazing. I remember talking to our friends at Multilingua FC at the last World Cup, and they talked about the 5th match, El Quinto Partido, which refers to the fact that Mexico had not reached a 5th match for so long. But this time, I think El Tri, the nickname of Mexico, might be one of the surprise packages and possibly play a 6th game at the World Cup.
Merhaba beyler, ben Türkiye'den Mert. Şu anda Language Caster dinliyorsunuz. Sevgiler.
So it's time to think about which teams are going to do well, which teams might surprise us, and which teams will fail badly at this World Cup. 4 years ago, I don't think we predicted Morocco would do so well. Remember that they finished 4th after knocking out Portugal and Spain. I also don't think that I predicted Germany would be so poor and fail to get out of the group for the 2nd tournament in a row. But that's exactly what happened after they lost to Japan. So what about this time? Which teams do we think are the favourites? How about the dark horses? And which teams will be the flops of the tournament? So, to help Damon and myself, we have asked a couple of football fans to tell us what they think might happen. So here's Fran and his son Gael, who tell us about Spain's chances. How do you think Spain will do in this World Cup?
Obviously, Spain is one of the favorites. From our opinion, and I think it will all depend. It's a World Cup, Damien. It will be difficult to predict this one with so many teams, but I think we have to. Obviously, we have Spanish. We got a strong team. We got the champions of Europe. We got the runners-up of the Nations League. So I think Spain now is ranked number 1 in the FIFA. So obviously, it's just, what can we say? We're going to support our country. We are going to support our team. But obviously, it's one of our favorites. So we think that they are going to do well. We hope that they are going to do well.
When Fran asked Gael about Spain's chances in the World Cup, he replied,
I think he's going to win the World Cup. Yeah.
皆さんは languagecaster.com を聞いています。
Let me ask you another question then. So you mentioned Spain had a good chance of winning. What other countries do you think are favourites to win the World Cup?
Okay, I will probably choose 3 or 4. All right, obviously Spain being one of them, Argentina, I think France, and Portugal.
What about a dark horse? So a team that, is not among the favorites but still might do well.
I think one of the ones that we have to watch out for are Belgium. I mean, those are the ones this is, I'm going to say only one. I think Gael has another one, but let's see if you think or you agree with our pick.
So I think Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Yes, it's a great team too.
Okay, so the opposite. Which team do you think will be the biggest failure in the World Cup? Which team will bomb during the World Cup?
I think it's going to be Brazil.
Again, I have to agree with Gael that Brazil might be a big flop. I think Brazil, and possibly, I would say that possibly Germany.
Hello everybody, my name is Omid, I am from Tashkent. I will tell you now, you are listening to languagecaster.com in my Uzbek language. Siz languagecaster.com saytida podcastlarni tinglayapsiz.
So, Damon, what did you think of those predictions from our Spanish friends? They seem to be confident that Spain will do well, and they think that Brazil will flop.
Well, I don't think Brazil will flop, but I do think they will fall short of expectations. Spain are always strong, so I agree that they may be one of the favourites, but I'm not sure they have the physicality to go all the way.
Well, I kind of agree with Fran about the favourites, France, Spain, and Portugal, though I am not sure about Argentina. Is their team a little too old? We also know that it is so difficult to retain the trophy. The last team to win the World Cup twice in succession in a row was Brazil back in 1962. I think England have a really good chance too, especially as they have a really good manager. How about you?
France and Portugal were mentioned by our guests, along with Belgium and the Netherlands. But of course, England are going to win and bring the trophy home.
As for dark horses, well, Turkey have been picked as dark horses in the past couple of tournaments, but they have always disappointed. Maybe this time? I think Norway will be strong, and so will Morocco. Lots of people here in the UK are also tipping Japan to do well, while Colombia will have huge support, which will be important. And of course, I have already mentioned Mexico. But for me, a real dark horse is Ecuador. They are physically strong, they have lots of players playing in big teams across Europe, and they do not concede many goals. They are my dark horses for the tournament.
I agree with your Ecuador shout. They could be the Morocco this time round and get to the quarters or semis, and then who knows? But I'm going to go for Morocco. They have experience recently of going all the way, well, kind of, in the African Cup of Nations, and I think they will surprise a few people.
Yes, Morocco, a good shout. Well, I have already said that Argentina might struggle, while I reckon Germany might also find it difficult in the knockout stages. How about you, Damon?
I think it will be the Netherlands. They have such talent, always, in these competitions, but never really seem to gel as a team.
شما دارید گوش میدید به languagecaster.com.
How about you, listener? What do you think of our choices? What teams will be the dark horses or the flops of the tournament? Let us know by adding a comment or a prediction to our World Cup forum.
languagecaster.com.
Regular listeners to our show will know that in the big tournaments, such as the Euros, the Women's and Men's World Cups, we usually run a predictions competition. And this year, we're also doing the same. There are no prizes, just the glory for being a winner. You will need to register with your email and then choose the 2026 World Cup game to play, and then simply add your predictions and click Save. Remember, you can change your scores right up to kickoff time. It's 3 points for a perfect score, So, for example, if you think Mexico will beat South Africa 2-0 in the opening game, and this is the exact final score, then you receive 3 points. Well, it's 1 point for the right result. For example, if the game between England and Croatia finishes 1-1, and you chose a different score but the right result, for example, 0-0, 2-2, or 3-3, then you will receive 1 point. Tell your friends to join. It's always fun to see what people predict in the World Cup. We'll be keeping up with the predictions competition throughout the World Cup. We're hoping to have a short podcast with an expression from the day on all of the World Cup days.
G'day, my name is Erin. I'm from Brisbane and I'm a West Ham supporter, and you're listening to languagecaster.com.
Now, if you want to get in contact with us with a football language question, or you have a comment on our show or about the World Cup, then you can do this by coming along to our World Cup forum or by writing to us at contact@learnenglishthroughfootball.com. While you're visiting our site, you can also check out our glossary of football terms, expressions, phrases, and cliches about the beautiful game of football.
지금 여러분은 languagecaster.com을 듣고 계십니다.
Okay, what language do you think that was? Just like all of the messages on today's show, it is a language spoken by some of the participating World Cup teams. It would be great if you could send us a message like that saying you are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast in your language or any language that you know. Just send it on to us at contact@learnenglishthroughfootball.com.
Você está escutando languagecaster.com.
Thank you for that final message, which was in Portuguese from Brazil. I'm not sure that he will agree with our Spanish friends about Brazil being the flops of the tournament. We also heard messages in Arabic, French from Canada, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, Uzbek, Twi from Ghana, and German. Oh, and a fan from Australia too. And as we said before, we'd love to hear from you if you'd like to record a message in any language that you know. Thank you everyone again for listening. This week we looked at some language to predict how teams might do in the upcoming World Cup, including dark horses, flops, and favourites. Let us know if you hear any words or phrases from today's show in any language that you know, and drop us a line here at Learn English Through Football. And don't forget to try out the online lessons as well. Enjoy all the football. Ta-ra!
We'll be back on Friday with the first of our daily World Cup expressions. Until then, bye-bye.